You can Google this quote, "Let endurance have its perfect result, so that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing." SOSIN Classes is going to launch a comprehensive and foundation program for UPSC 2021 exam. This is a program that is well articulated, well designed in order to see to it that the student is put first. The idea, the motto of this organization and this particular program is to see to it that student secures the best rank in the exam in the very first attempt. Such an effort that we put for the success of the student has registered in history as more than 1,000 ranks that we have secured from about 2006. With a strong think tank, technical team, faculty, mentorship group, content designers, we are a strong force to reckon with. All departments work relentlessly towards the success of the student. But remember, our work will be in vain unless otherwise you, the student, take up the strings of the preparation, follow the guidelines given by us so that you reach up to the goal. So let's see how this program goes. First and foremost stumbling block for the aspirants, especially in the time of the pandemic and the lockdown, is the major stumbling block of unable to decide the mode of preparation. Especially for those students who are waiting for the offline programs to commence. This is a time that is going really waste. Many such students who have been waiting for the offline program to commence due to the lockdown, when they are not able to do that, are actually wailing away their time and losing ultimately in the competition. And it is for such kind of a situation, SOSIN Classes has come up with a design of the program which combines the online and offline mode. That is, even for the students who would want to go in for the offline programs, the first few months till things go better, we are providing them with the online lectures and whatever requirements. Once things settle down, then we give an option for them to switch over to the offline mode, and we are there to help out. Our CSC program is designed to spread over 9 months. Each month, each week and each day is planned meticulously in terms of the content that we discuss and the tests that we conduct. We believe that each day is crucial in this exam, and hence whatever the student learns has to be tested as soon as possible, and the testing should go on a continuous basis. The classes are produced contemporarily, and they are made available for the students based on the very well articulated timetable and the schedule. So the students on a regular basis can listen to the lectures and prepare according to the guidelines given to him. Also remember, in this exam, every area of the syllabus plays a vital role. In terms of importance, there might be some bit of changing from time to time, from year to year, but the student shall not neglect any of the areas of the exam when it especially comes to the general studies. And as you know, the aspirants for this particular exam come from different fields across the spectrum, and not all areas are equally grasped by all the students. And as you know, the aspirants for this particular exam come from a spectrum of different fields, and it is not possible and should not be expected also to see that all of them can excel in the same way and then can understand on the same plane. And hence it becomes important for the teacher also to bring all these students onto the same plane. This is the reason why our course begins with a foundation program. So our program at SOSIN Classes, the comprehensive and Foundation Program for Civil Services 2021, which aims at a success at IAS, has these 4 major phases. Out of all this, I personally give the highest importance to the foundation phase. The first about 25 days of the course are allocated to the foundation phase. As you can see, the other phases, constructive phase, you have testing and analytical phase and a refurbishing phase. Let us have a look at each of these programs and how we laid out the scheme. During the foundation phase, we discuss what are the essentials for the examination, what are the very basic things the student has to have knowledge about and has to really be strong at. We begin this with the NCERTs. We will be doing with a huge lot of books in one after the other in the class. Of course, how we are going to do with NCERTs, we will be talking about them in another video that would be following up in the couple of days. Apart from this, the student is also put across different activities related to the newspapers and news channels. For the exam of UPSC Civil Services, the student has to study the news. We don't read the news or glance through the news. Now, it is in this context, many students keep asking this question, what to do and how to do with the newspapers and the information therein. We here try to settle the dust in the minds of the students, because this is a time of a huge volume of information that is surrounding the student. Plenty is the problem now. From the plenty, what has to be picked up by the student? See, many students actually think that it is sufficient. Many students think that it is sufficient to maybe perhaps do the current affairs towards the end of the program or maybe just before the examination. If that is the kind of an opinion a student has, it is a complete underestimation of the nature, of the strength, of the requirement of the UPSC exam. Nevertheless, when a huge list of newspapers are there in the market, a huge list of channels are there, what has to be done and how should they be approached? That becomes a question for the student. We at SOCIN classes generate curiosity in the student, make him competent, confident, content-rich and composed. We here make the student believe not in fantasies, but in setting realistic, realizable goals. We help him set his goals, and it is here we own their goals, and we guide him through our team and with our knowledge, with our experience in the field, to go to those goals at the fastest possible time. You have to understand, time is clicking here, and we have to reach out to that with a very well articulated, a flawless scheme and a flawless mentoring so that they achieve the goal at the fastest possible time. Thus, during the foundation course, we try to understand the student. We bring together the student, the teacher, the mentors, so that we understand the weak areas of the student. We brush the basics of them, and we make them, we mold them so that they can take themselves to the constructive and content development phase with much more confidence. Now, coming to the second phase of our course, that is the constructive phase. Thus, during the foundation phase, our effort is to bring together the teachers, the mentors and the students so that we understand the problems, the weak areas, the strong areas of the student. We mold him, prepare him for the long list of things that he has to study and the long journey that he has to make towards the 2021 examination. It is here that a very well established communication channel is put between the student and the team of teachers, so that the journey becomes much smoother. And we try to see to it that the time is not lost at the later phases of the preparation and the journey is rather smooth. Every basic area is addressed in the first 25 days, including how the note making has to be, what are the books and how to what extent they have to be referred, and we try to make it convenient for the student so that his language issues are also handled. If somebody is weak at the language in which we deliver the lectures, then we try to prepare them, we try to assist them in order to improve, because that's going to play a good role in the examination. So that kind of a personal attention is something that we focus at in the foundation course. That's how we would be entering the second phase of our program, called the constructive phase. We have two levels in this constructive phase. One is the concept and content building phase. The second one is the practical orientation program. So after a brief period of foundation program, when we enter the constructive phase, the first phase will be to deliver the content, which is, of course, keeping in view the examination. That's the whole point. See to it that the student is prepared to take up the understanding for the preliminary examination. And that will be followed by, during this phase of nine months, so we would be focusing on the main related program, where analysis based discussions would happen, and then several activities, writing and talking activities, and some bit of stints we would be providing the opportunities to the students in order to they come up, discuss, give their presentations and explain their points of view. So it is something like we can create some groups of people where the discussions can go on, and then they come up with their doubts, their questions and queries. So it is a very analytical kind of a discussion that goes on, and we would be focusing on the writing. Because at the end of the day, if one is not able to communicate the ideas that one has understood, the whole game is lost. So it's a program that is enriched and fully loaded with the writing. See, when it comes to the testing phase, we will be talking about the testing in much more detail. But here let me talk about the second part of the constructive program, that is imparting the practical orientation. See, as the later part of the constructive phase, we are having this program which is aimed at imparting practical orientation to the students. See, this is the way in which UPSC's questioning pattern has been moving. Meaning that it is not simply the theoretical understanding, but the practical difficulties and practical aspects, empirical elements also have to be understood by the students, and based on that, case study based writing becomes essential. So in order to give that complete understanding of the student, both from the theoretical and practical side, we are trying to rope in a new program which is fondly titled as the Savvy Sessions. This, as you can see, brings together theory and practice. To be much more explicit on that, with a huge lot of students who are selected into a large number of services, different services, we are trying to take the services of these earlier students of us in order to give that kind of cutting edge information to the current students. Say, for that matter, if somebody must have studied the banking, taxation kind of topics in the class, from the government, from the functionaries in the banking and the taxation segment, if the officer is trying to bring information, give the kind of difficulties or the kind of prospects to the student, so he would be getting the overall understanding of the theory that he must have learnt in the classroom. So that is going to be a very beautiful program which will give that kind of an edge to the student in order to place our students at a higher level, much higher level than anybody else. So that is one program which the student has to really savor. So this is the program which opens the doors for the student who is locked up in between the books and trying to maybe some bit of it understanding, some bit of memorizing. But once this key is opened and the student is exposed to the externality, the functional reality of various aspects of governance and the things that he is learning as a part of the curriculum, that is going to bring him real laurels in his marks. Now, coming to the third phase of the comprehensive and foundation program is testing and analysis. Coming to the third program under comprehensive and foundation course is the testing and analytical phase. In fact, to say that in the case of our students, the testing starts right from the first day itself. So as I can show you there, we have the daily, weekly, subject-wise, and then the comprehensive tests, both in the prelim and main orientation, basically to see to it that the fear of the examination is not there for the students. The fear is good, but then the fear should not take the student away from attempting the tests. This is a very crucial program where a proper hand-holding of the student happens. Many times, students, because of that fear, go away from attempting the tests. They might be studying for days and weeks and months, but then when it comes to writing, we see that many of them actually go away from the scene. So this is not that what we expect from our students. So being fearlessly there, trying to practice in a way that UPSC questions are actually attempted, and this should be, the examination should look to be like an extension of the classroom test the student must have taken. This is how we actually hear from our old students that when they walked into the UPSC examination hall and when they were taking the test, they found it as if they were writing the classroom test. And that is more than a compliment that we get. Coupled with this, our student grievance redressal cell comes in handy to address any specific grievances of the students, that may be in terms of understanding, in terms of difficulties in attempting the test, or in general the kind of situations the student might be facing during his preparation. Our redressal wing, our redressal cell, tries to give an extended hand to our students so that a psychological aspect also is taken care, because the UPSC is a kind of an examination where the student is not simply on the toes every time, but also is exposed to huge amount of stress from different corners, personal, professional, and whatever. So this is a place where the student is actually spoken to personally, and the kind of help is extended to them. In the process, if at all any modification is required from the teacher's side, from the material department, from evaluators department, so from various corners, if at all it is from the point of view of the course, and if within the course he is finding any difficulties, we keep a close watch on the whole process and try to deliver the best possible and best required for this particular exam. Lastly, the refurbishing phase. This is a phase that is soon after the course. Soon after the course, if at all somebody is, God forbid, not able to make through the examination for a couple of years or so, once again trying to write the examination, etc., we will be extending our services through various refurbishing programs. The refurbishing phase is actually aimed at continuing to give the support to the student. Just in case the student is not able to clear the exam or falling short of some marks, etc., then we are there to notify several short refurbishing programs, and the kind of motto that we work with: once in contact, always in contact, once a student, always a student kind of. Now we try to help out the student in whatever possible ways so that he is continuing to work with that kind of a motivation. Apart from this, we are also an international accreditation organization certified entity in terms of the services that we are providing. So being an IAO certified organization, we will also be able to help out the student for any kind of higher education in the specific universities across the world. This is something that adds a feather to the cap of the UPSC Foundation and Comprehensive course that we offer. This entire program will be fruitful, and it would reach its end by bringing you to the service that you have aimed for. And that is possible only if a totally committed, undivided attention of the student is given to the course and whatever tests, whatever assessments that we are providing. So this very beautiful journey with UPSC in SOSIN classes is going to begin. Please note the date, and that is 17th of June 2020. From that date, we will be providing classes based on the schedule and all that I have spoken so far for the next 9 to 10 months of time. So be a part of this course. Call us for the enquiries, So be a part of this course. Looking forward to be a part of this very beautiful journey which we both will sail together in the company of other teachers, mentors, and everybody else here. And if you have need any clarification, please feel free to call on us, write to us, but see to it that you make the maximum out of this lockdown period so that you are not left over, and you are surging ahead much faster than the others in the direction that you have identified for yourself in your life. That's where signing off. Subscribe to our channel and write your comments, your likes, dislikes, whatsoever, whether you liked the channel, whether you liked the talk or not, anything else that you'd want to hear from us. Of course, I'm lining up the other kind of discussions starting from the foundation course related ones, etc. So feel free to write. Have a great time ahead. Thank you so much, boys and girls.